See, we are not amused by what is going on. Firstly, let me tell that Sanatan Sanstha and other Hindutva organizations, their stand is very clear. First, whatever people may laugh or made a mockery, we do believe that supernatural powers exist, and we do believe that there is a scope for a person to pursue something which a scientific attitude or scientific approach may not yield. That having said that, let me tell one thing, that this particular incident, what is happening with Shobhan Sarkar, we are not actually aware whether what exactly are the credentials of the person or whether this is true or correct. But I must tell you one thing.
What is scientific? I have Article 51A(h) of the Indian Constitution pertaining to the fundamental rights of the duties of the citizens of India says, quote, "It shall be the duty of every citizen to develop scientific temper, spirit of inquiry and reform." I am asking you today, we have become a country in which 300, 400 people are digging for 1,000 tons of gold. What is the impression the whole world will have? And they will ask you how? Because a sadhu had a dream.
What is the impression whole world will have? You are referring to Constitution and say what impression world will have. In spite of what is given in the Constitution, still people have the right to their faith. That is what our highest courts have held.
You have a right
as far as faith is concerned. Now,
if,
as far
if
as
the
government
sadhu, if the sadhu has a dream, let the sadhu organize the digging. Why is the government doing the digging?
I am precisely saying that when this particular sadhu made this statement, no channel has ever even tried to suggest or verify whether he had any earlier credentials about suggesting certain things which are probably true. No, whether that. Now your channel has done so much research.
That's a fair point.
So much research. When so much research is done, your channel could have very well asked the people, because he is not some person of 16 or 18-year-old, local people, what were their experiences. Now about the scientific temper which you said, we had raised 1934, some Saint Alfonso died in Kerala. Our government came out with a coin in favor of Saint Alfonso. When for Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, we never had a coin. This is how, scientific temper is not something.
I think what he's saying is true. I think Times now must launch an investigation into Shobhan Sarkar's dream chronology and figure out what are the dreams he's had. You know, he could have dreamt that Akhilesh Yadav will one day become chief minister. He could have dreamt that Manmohan Singh will remain prime minister. He could have dreamt so many things. I think we should be serious. And he's right. We shouldn't mock anyone's...
In India, Nostradamus books are sold maximum. And that has given a lot of predictions.
Which century are we living in?
We are living very much in 21st century.
Which century are we living in? So you want us to live in the century of Nostradamus? I mean, which world do you want? I do not believe, and I'm sorry, I will challenge you here on live television, that I do not believe that this kind of logic is accepted by anyone in this country today. And if you want this country to go back, let's have some logic here. Now, my question is now very serious. Very serious. I want the same level of inquiry and investigation into who killed the rationalist in Pune. And I'm telling this to you on your face. I want the same level of inquiry and investigation to go into why the central and state governments refused to act when people were being killed and butchered in Muzaffarnagar. Which, when that happens, Madhukar Jaitley is not there. Madhukar Jaitley and the entire Uttar Pradesh government at that time is batting defensively. Today, Mr. Jaitley, you are saying we don't know. We don't know why Naresh Agarwal has said, we want the gold. The problem is, Mr. Jaitley, that politicians are already lusting after that gold. Naresh Agarwal has said...
But it may be their gold. How do we know?
For God's sake, whoever's gold it may be. I mean, for God's sake, is this the way in which politicians, ministers and members of parliament are expected to function and behave? I mean, to the young people of India, you're killing their scientific temper. I am asking you today, why did you not deploy 300, 400, 3,000 people when people were being killed in Muzaffarnagar, sir? Why? And why were you washing your hands off? You're washing your hands off that, and you're washing your hands off this.
Should I say something?
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
How have you reached the conclusion that there is gold which is being dug? How have you reached this conclusion?
So what are you digging for?
Where did this world gold came from?
No, 1 second, because Mr. Jaitley...
the report of the GSI, the report of the Geological Survey of India says that there is a non-magnetic material which is...
Was a letter written on the 3rd of September? Was a letter written on the 3rd of September addressed to the Reserve... Was a letter written on the 3rd of September addressed to the Reserve Bank Governor Raghuram Rajan, which offered an instant solution to India's faltering economy. Was the letter written... Please don't laugh, Sohail, this is actually happening. The letter was written by one Swami Bhaskarnan Dev of Unnao, who claimed there were huge gold reserves left behind by Raja Rao Rambak Singh, who helped Rani Lakshmi Bai during the 1957 war and was hanged by the British. And is it true that after that, Shobhan Sarkar also had another dream? He dreamt that Raja Rao, who asked him to hand over the treasure to the Indian government. I mean, Mr. Jaitley, which century are you in? A few weeks back, Dozens of people were butchered in Muzaffarnagar. Where was your government then?
And you are trying to tell the state government being responsible for doing this activity. The state government has neither ordered the excavation nor the state
But the state government has already said the money is ours.
Except protecting law and order.
But the state government said the money is ours.
But that is notional gain. In a country which talks about notional loss, this is notional gain, and we must give the state government that credit.
Sudhir Telang wanted to come in. Yes, Sudhir, I don't know what to say. I'm pinching myself tonight to believe that this is actually happening live on national television. Sudhir, what would you say to the minister? Mr. Jaitley, don't look so surprised, please.
There are.
Yes. Kahiye.
Mr. Jaitley is playing absolutely unaware of anything that is happening in his own government. He's not aware of what is happening in his own government.
We are completely
There
aware.
are proofs,
But
there are news
we
reports
don't have a role to take
everywhere
the decision.
that his entire government is involved in this excavation. Your entire government is involved in this excavation. And your chief minister wants
You are not aware of the fact,
his own
Mr.
share in the
Telang.
booty. I have read all the newspapers. You say that all the newspapers are lying since this morning.
Where is the booty?
Your ministers
First of
are
all,
there.
There is no question
No, no.
of gold. There is no question of
That
gold.
is what we are laughing about. That is what we are laughing about.
If there is no gold, then what are 300 people doing?
Jaitley.
No, 1 second. If there
Paying for the water
That is
tables.
what we are laughing about, Mr. Jaitley. There is a saying in Hindi that Soot na kapas or julaho mein latham latha. This is what is happening in UP right now.
That is what
There is, you don't know what is there and they are fighting for it. This is quite funny. Culprit number 1, Akhilesh Yadav. Culprit number 2, central government, ASI and GSI. They have turned the whole thing into a joke, and I'm really surprised. We are living in 21st century India.
No, 1 second. Shobhan Sarkar says, Shobhan Sarkar has said, Shobhan Sarkar has said, this is also interesting, he was quoted in
Shobhan Sarkar, if you believe in Shobhan Sarkar, then he should be appointed Prime Minister of this country.
Mr. Telang, this is not a cartoon. I'm being very serious on this matter. There is no role of the
What do you mean by cartoon?
Cartoon is more
thing
serious.
than anything. See, most of the governments are run by cartoons these days. Take them seriously. They are more serious than your ministers.
We are more serious.
The problem is you don't read cartoons and don't understand cartoons. You have lost your sense of humor.
The decision of the excavation of this site.
Because you do not have a sense of humor. If you
Acha.
had a sense of humor, you would not have you would not have ordered this kind of excavation.
Without any fact.
Acha, there is
You
a
have
twist.
turned the whole state into a joke and you are laughing at cartoons. This is quite funny.
No, there is a twist. 1 second, I want to just say there is a twist. 1 second. There is a twist. There is a twist. 1 second. The twist is this.
I thought his government had a sense of humor.
No,
Otherwise
the
they would
twist-
not have
It
ordered
does.
this
That's
kind
why
of
they're
thing and
digging.
they
They are
would have
digging
believed
because they have a
cartoons.
sense of humor.
I am only
Digging their
saying.
own grave.
I am only saying here today that the Shobhan Sarkar has also said that the Archaeological Survey of India may reach the point where 1,000 tons of gold is buried, but they cannot touch the treasure without permission of my gurus. If at all they try to ignore
you
my
so serious,
suggestion,
Mr.
the
Jaitley?
gold will
Last
vanish
little
from
bit.
there. Mr. Jaitley, he's actually saying now, that he's saying that the gold will vanish from there if you try and touch it without my permission. What is going on?
This is your interpretation.
No, this is his quotation. I am quoting from what Shobhan Sarkar has said, and I am just amazed that the governments are running on these lines.
We don't recognize Shobhan Sarkar. We don't recognize any share in this matter.
So what you're saying is the Independent Geological Survey of India Gold Rush will follow this story. I don't know whether gold will be found 1 kilo or 1,000 tons or 5,000 tons of it, but it raises some serious questions about scientific temper.
Actually, the chief minister of
About scientific temper,
not Shobhan Sarkar.
about scientific temper, rationality, and the way we expect this country to be run. I think that is something the viewers tonight will have to think over. It's not about this gold rush. It's about that bigger story. I thank all our panelists for joining us on the News Hour tonight. Thank you.